Can one act of courage of one man change the fate of an entire village? Hello dear viewers, welcome back to Katha Yogam. In the previous episode, the Pandavas escaped from Varanavata and entered the forest. There, Bhima defeated the mighty Hidimbasura. From that battle came an unexpected turn. Bhima married Hidimbasura's sister Hidimba. That union would one day save Arjuna's life on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In this episode, the Pandavas arrive at a village filled with fear, a place where people lived under the shadow of a cruel Rakshasa. Here, Bhima's strength would once again rise in defense of the helpless. Please take a moment of your precious time to subscribe to our channel. It costs you nothing, but your support will help us bring more captivating stories from the treasure trove of Indian epics to you. Vaishampayana continued his narration. After leaving the forest of Hidimba, the Pandavas travelled quietly, hiding their true identity. Disguised as humble Brahmins, they reached a village called Ekachakra. From a distance, it looked calm and peaceful, but behind closed doors, sorrow lived in every home. The Pandavas found shelter in the house of a poor Brahmin. Each day, they went out to seek food from the village. Whatever food they received, Kunti divided it carefully, half for Bhima and the other half shared among the rest. Their meals were small, their life was simple, but they felt grateful because they were together and they were safe. Yet, the calm of Ekachakra would not last for long. Soon, Bhima would face another demon, one whose cruelty had filled the entire village with fear. One day, Bhima and Kunti heard loud cries from inside the Brahmin's house. The entire family was weeping in deep sorrow. Seeing their pain, Kunti gently asked what had happened. With folded hands and trembling voices, the Brahmin revealed the truth. Near Ekachakra lived a Rakshasa named Bakasura, cruel, violent and merciless. He would attack the village without warning, killing and devouring anyone he pleased. Unable to fight him, the king and the villagers made a terrible agreement to save themselves. Every few days, a cart loaded with food and pulled by 2 buffaloes had to be sent to Bakasura. But that was not enough. Along with the cart, one person had to go as well, to be eaten along with the food and the animals. And that day, it was the Brahmin's turn. The Brahmin, his wife, their daughter and young son began arguing among themselves. Each one insisted on sacrificing their own life to save the others. Watching this painful scene, Kunti's heart filled with deep compassion. She could not bear to see an innocent family breaking under the weight of fear. With calm strength, she reminded Bhima of his duty as a Kshatriya, that one who had the power to protect must stand up for those who suffer. If he could end this terror, he must do so, not for fame, but for Dharma. Bhima listened quietly. There was no fear in him, no hesitation. With steady confidence, he reassured his mother that he would take the cart of food himself and face Bakasura. The Brahmin was stunned. He tried to stop Bhima, unable to accept that his guest would risk his life for their sake. But Bhima gently assured the family that no harm would come to him. The next morning, Bhima was filled with excitement. His energy was unmistakable. Seeing his unusual cheerfulness, Yudhishthira suspected the primary reason for such an upbeat mood could only mean one thing: a battle. When Kunti explained the matter, his suspicion was confirmed and he gently advised Bhima to remain cautious. Before setting out, Bhima asked the villagers for a filling meal and they gladly obliged. After all, he was going to battle for the Brahmins and Bhima saw no reason to fight a demon on an empty stomach. The villagers brought heaps of food, enough for several men. Bhima ate heartily, yet was only partially satisfied. Still, unlike Bakasura, he did not demand more from the poor villagers. With admirable restraint, at least by Bhima's standards, he climbed into the heavy cart pulled by 2 buffaloes and headed toward the forest. As he travelled, Bhima's entire focus shifted to the mouth-watering food meant for Bakasura. In his mind, the meal already belonged to him. He was going to kill the Rakshasa anyway, so why not enjoy it fresh before the bloodshed? Reaching the banks of the Yamuna, he stopped the cart altogether and settled down comfortably to devour the feast. As though he were on a pleasant riverside picnic rather than on his way to slay a demon. Deep within the forest, Bakasura waited. Soon, the massive Rakshasa emerged from his cave, burning with hunger. When his eyes fell upon the empty cart and the fearless Bhima finishing the meal, a storm of rage rose within him. His roar tore through the forest air as he rushed forward, determined to crush the man before him. They charged at each other and clashed in the forest with great force. Bakasura rushed forward and tackled Bhima, trying to crush him to the ground. But Bhima pushed him away and struck back with heavy blows. They locked their arms and wrestled fiercely, each trying to overpower the other. The Rakshasa tore a tree from the ground and swung it in anger. Bhima bent aside, pulled out another tree and brought it down hard on Bakasura's body. The trunk split into pieces. Roaring in rage, Bakasura charged again. This time, Bhima caught him, lifted him and threw him down with crushing strength. Before the Rakshasa could raise, Bhima seized him by the leg. With terrible force, he swung the massive body through the air and smashed him against a huge boulder. Bones cracked, blood flowed. The Raksasa's body struck to the ground and lay twisted and lifeless. The terror of Ekachakra ended that day. When Bhima finished the battle, he paused for a moment and thought, if he left the body in the forest, the entire village would have to walk there to see whether Bakasura was truly dead. It seemed simpler to him to carry the Rakshasa back instead. So Bhima dragged the lifeless body of Bakasura to the edge of Ekachakra and left it where all could see. When the villagers saw the fallen giant, they could hardly believe their eyes. The Rakshasa, who had ruled their lives with fear, lay broken before them. Tears of relief flowed freely. Some folded their hands in a silent thank you, and others looked up in the sky in silent gratitude. When they learned what Bhima had done, the villagers bowed with deep respect. The Pandavas simply smiled and accepted their blessings with humility. Soon after, a group of travelling Brahmins passed through Ekachakra, speaking of a grand Swayamvara in the kingdom of Panchala. Princess Draupadi, born of sacred fire, would choose her husband through a mighty challenge. Kings and warriors from across the land were already gathering to prove their strength and skill. The Pandavas listened in silence. A Swayamvara, a test of destiny. They knew it was time to move on. Their path now turned towards Panchala, where destiny awaited. In the next episode, we witness the grand Swayamvara of Draupadi. We will meet again in the halls of Panchala.
If you appreciate our work, please like and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notified when we upload a new episode.